shit was staying, baby. I told him that shit was staying. Ready, bird. I got my winter gloves on. Only reason I'm here is the game.
We protect what's ours. Every step is toward one thing, a championship. The Wolves came to fight, but this is our turf. No mistakes, just execution. Handle business early, dominate often. But before we talk about what happened out there, you have to understand what it takes to step foot on the field. So let me introduce you to Buck.
You gotta stand up though. You gotta stand up. Ready? What happens? I would say I spent my first 11 years growing up with my mom, you know, back and forth from Middletown to Harrisburg. I was bad. I definitely was. Hothead. I don't know if that still transitions, you know, to today. But no, that was, you know, just that. And then when I moved down officially to Middletown, I just stayed down there with my dad, with my pops. It was a lot more structured.
What was life like in your neighborhood?
Life, you know, basketball court every day, football field, kickball field. You know, growing up as kids, and that's the biggest difference now is what's missing is kids aren't kids nowadays. You know, you go to the basketball courts, they're not packed. You go to I mean, even when it came down to like playing backyard softball and wiffle ball, and you know what I mean? Like, we on the game, we on, you know, NBA Live before 2K got popping, NBA Live, you know, we talking trash, da-da-da-da, and then, you know, now next thing you know, we're at the court. You know, nowadays, it's like you barely can even get a run in an indoor court, so.
We're gonna switch up a little bit. We're gonna go to like family life and, you know, that background and everything. What does being a father mean to you?
Man, that's the number one thing right there in life is my little girl right there. Everybody knows. You know, fatherhood is everything, especially growing up with you know, you grow up with a mother who was a major drug addict. You know what I mean? And you go through all that and you see, you know, what bad parenting looks like, right? And then, you know, growing up with my dad and seeing how my dad was with me and, you know, the structure that he put around me, and then that just transitioning into, you know, the father who I am today. So, you know, to furthermore just answer the question, what does it mean? It's the greatest pride and joy in my life.
What's something you want your daughter to see in you when she watches you play?
I would say my competitive spirit, right? My love for what I do. And, you know, the great Greg Medina in our league said it best is like, you know, we may not be playing in the NFL, we may not be doing this, but this is our NFL, this is what we do, this is what we love to do.
When you look at how far you've come, how much of that you credit to being a father?
I would say being a father and that, I would say the first thing is, the first change, a lot of change in my life was when I actually became Muslim in 2018. And then that's what kind of like made me step back and stop drinking, stop partying and all that. And then when she was born, that really just put the cherry on top of everything. No, Look, these are my joints right here. Hold on, let me go through these jerseys real quick. All right, so this joint right here, this was the first championship with the Cyclones. This is actually when I was a running back. We beat the Tomahawks in 2016, and I think that was the worst beatdown in GFA history. We beat them by 40. The second one, this was, we beat the Tomahawks again. This is when I played DN. My third one I wore number 55. And actually Bostic on our team, he was supposed to play, but he ended up not playing, so I just took his jersey and kept that. Then number 99, we beat the Vikings. We beat the Vikings in this championship right there. Beat the Vikings with number 55. That's the jersey I don't have. And then this one right here is we beat the Wildcats. So, you know, these jerseys, I keep these up. These pride and joy right here. This is where it all started, aside from my Mustang jersey. We talk about one of the, you know, impactful moments of one's life, right? So I'll just turn down here real quick. So if you want to get him on camera, man, right there, that Skeet right there, man, big. That was my guy right there, my big cousin, man. He got shot down right up here in 08, July 13th of 08, right there. That's where he got shot down at. And then, you know, when he got out of jail in December of 07, he actually, you know, moved down with me and my grandmom, and you know, that was, you know, the bond that me and him grew, you know, because, you know, him showing me stuff out in the street with football and everything like that. That was, you know, when I got that call, you know, that morning that, you know, he got killed. That was, man, that was a huge impactful moment, and just really understanding that, you know, I'm not meant to be out here acting and, you know, ripping and running in the streets and trying to act like no thug or anything like that, right? So that was really the first, you know, stamp or impact of my life. All right, so we going downstairs now. This is the dungeon. This is where the big boys come and work out down here. We don't, these are upstairs. The men are downstairs. Yo, y'all be safe, all right?
All right, you too. Have a nice one.
Yep.
The younger you, if you right now, what would you think?
Damn, if I would have put that work in, I definitely wouldn't be in the GFA right now. Not that there's anything wrong with it, right? But at the same time, we always hear that, right? When the old heads be like, man, you gotta do this, and you gotta do that, you gotta do this, and you gotta do that. And it's like you never want to listen. And then you look at the potential you have now at the, you know, age of 25 and 30 and 33 as I am now, and it's like, damn, if I would have just really put that work in and listen, right, I wouldn't be at the YMCA in Harrisburg. I'd be somewhere far off better. But it is what it is, right? We can never stop, you know, our journey or our path, right? So this may be a journey or a stepping stone to be a, you know, something bigger, step over real quick, something bigger, you know, to come for, say, the GFA or whatever it is. So either way, I'm just happy. I think the younger me would definitely look at it at the same time and, you know, also be proud of, you know, not falling to the traps of, you know, what some of my family did, right? Or so on and so forth.
Central PA Legends, Episode 4, The Cost of Victory.
What's the mindset going into today's game?
Domination, aggression, confidence, playing as one.
The mindset is the same as always. Doesn't matter the opponent. You know, we show up and we do our job, and the outcome will show.
Get this man changed, man. Get him on the joint. They got
We've been executing pretty well on offense. We're running the football. We haven't really gotten the passing game going. We're going to try to get warmed up a little bit in the second half. Offensive line's doing a nice job. We're protecting the football. We haven't turned it over.
Teams coming out ready to play. There's a big difference on what team's ready and what team's not. And that's what we got to take this halftime and correct, because it's not us. We got to find our way to be physical. The Legends are what they are. They're well-established, well-run team, well-coached, disciplined players. But at the end of the day, that alone is not the reason that you out-physical somebody. It becomes a matter of want and need.
Going into the half, what will be your message to the team?
0-0 game. We need to execute in the second half and finish this team off.
And what would be your message going into the half?
To my guys, dude, try to have fun. We finally got a day where it's beautiful, there's no rain. Yeah, we're playing in some soupy areas because of the amount of rain we've had. But at the end of the day, football, we do this to have fun. We do this to escape a little bit of reality for everybody. We gotta get back to that. Find your reason as to why you do this. It's not to come in and be down 38 points at half.
Next stop, Williamsport, home of Little League history. Different field, same goal, but nothing about this one was clean.
My shoulder popped out. Wrap them up! Why are you going for his legs?
We handled the noise, and now it's on to the next.
No, you won't. Stop.
What's one thing this team has done better every single week since week 1?
I'd say find a purpose to be driven. Each game, it seemed like week 0, I mean, from the progression from week 0 to now, everybody's found a reason. And it seems like each week that reason got a little stronger every week, especially after losing week 0. They gave a lot purpose and made us really find our way.
From being in that locker room day to day, what's different now compared to the start of the season?
Personnel, for sure. The mindset's changed a lot. Like I said before, everybody found a goal, found a reason, and I think it got us driven towards our one goal, which is the championship for this team, and especially in an inaugural season of a player-led team. I think we found our drive and everything like that. So,
and building on that, like you said, a player-led team. As one of the founders of this team, how does it feel seeing this group evolve the way it has?
It feels good. It feels good because a lot of owners in this league make it seem like an impossible task, and I think our goal was to make it not seem that way. And by us building a board instead of just having one core owner, I think that helped take the pressure off of just one guy and spread everything out. We could delegate whatever needed to be delegated to the next guy that could just take care of whatever needed to be taken care of.
What are you looking for from your teammates as leaders, players, and brothers right now?
Passion, aggression. That's really it. I mean, you exhibit those two things on the football field, I feel like it's everything you want, everything you need.
We got to touch on the Comanche rematch. That first game against the Comanche, the Legends were up big and then let it slip. What stands out the most from that loss?
I touched on it a little bit earlier, the turnover. There's been a lot of turnover, a lot of picking and finding what we needed to do to get everybody honed in. I think a lot of the focus from the outside was it's the same core as like the Cyclones or whatever it was somewhere else. But what they don't understand is there's a lot of new guys, new young guys on this team that have had to play early and often, and that first game was really a gelling process, and I think that as the season went on, we gelled really well, and it showed. And that's why we're in the position we are now and working towards that final goal.
From your perspective, do you feel they won that game, or did the Legends give it away?
I'd never take away from the opponent. I think if you're down 2 touchdowns and you come back and win, you took that game. But I think that a lot of mistakes were made on our side that since then we've tightened up, and I think it'll make for a good game this game.
Appreciate your time, Trey. Is there anything else you want to say to everyone out there in the GEFA? Or the GFA, my apologies.
For anything further, honestly, not really. Not anything too important. We've heard the chief president, GEFA president, however, we've heard he's stepping down here soon, and somebody's going to have to run to take that role. And I think that this is a good time to get some fresh blood in, and I think that I can be that fresh blood, possibly help out, maybe make some major changes to not just the league, but the landscape of the 8-man football in this state. I think it could be just as big as it was going back as far as 2010. You know, this was a big league. There were a lot of teams. There were 20 teams in this league at one point, I believe. I think we can get back to that, me personally, and I think that we need to get back to focusing on the product on the field and less on the sidelines and any of the ancillary stuff. But yeah, I think I'd like to announce that I'm going to run for the GEFA president.
Delron, you ain't got nothing to say?
The only reason I'm here is the game. It's bad.
One loss. One blemish on the record. One team that thought they had our number. They didn't just win, they celebrated. But they forgot pressure doesn't break the ones who train in it. It sharpens them.
You feel me? We gon' bust their ass. We gon' bust their ass like. We gon' bust their ass like. All day like, all night like, offense like, defense like, and score like, outscore like, and it sound like, and it sound like, and it sound like.
Right here. We don't shy away from no big move. Watch.
They thought it was over. The crowd roared. The celebration began. But the game doesn't end on belief. It ends on execution. Then came the flag. Holding. Just like that, their moment disappeared.
We party in their city tonight! We party in their city tonight! I come through with that mask on! I told him that shit was staying.
Coming into this game, we knew we had a battle. Comes down to better team was out there today. You know, we'll bring it back next time.
And then reflecting on this year, what would you say you take from this season the most? Like, what stood out the most from for this team?
The players, the coaches. When you got a good group of players and they're playing as one, you got a good football team, right? The group of guys we have out there are literally like playing one unit football, and that's really hard to come across, right? We don't have those inter-team scuffles, inter-team disagreements. Everybody's on the same page. The coaches get them on the same page. If they're not on the same page, they need to get on the same page. We held everybody accountable all year. We held the coaches accountable. We held the players accountable. And in the end, I mean, this is what you get. 40-42, the two of the best teams. You know, and that's where we're at. And, you know, that's what I try to do. I try to give them the best opportunity to go out there and play football and win football. So,
all right, thanks so much, Coach. Really
I appreciate it. Yep, absolutely.
Holy, this ain't the chip. All right, we got 2 more games. Clap it the fuck up. Before I hand it off to Jeff, I'm letting y'all know right now, I'm so proud of you guys. Seriously. Hostile environment. We came, we balled. The great thing about making mistakes is you get to fix them the next week, and you get to fix them the week after. All right? Don't dwell on it. We gonna celebrate tonight. Yeah. We gonna celebrate tonight. And I ain't got no underwear on. Look.
Yo, this is why we can say what they say.
Hey, sidelines. Way to pick it up.
Okay, let me make sure too.
Way to be positive.
Yo, listen up. Here's Jeff. Here's Coach. Listen up. Yo, everybody, seriousness. Here's Coach.
8 weeks ago,
listen up.
I stood in the huddle as the head coach for the first time. I said, trust the coaching staff, trust your leadership, trust each other, and it'll pay off. And that's all we've seen since then. We got 2 more games. Keep trusting, keep believing, and we'll finish this shit off. Good work today.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jeff. Good shit, Gabe. Matt, you good? Matt, you good? Everybody good? Anybody got everything else to say? Seriously, I'm proud of you guys. Get your shit out of here. Drive safe. Anybody want to get up with me later. We can chill at the crib, drink.
We going live, yo. We celebrating Father's Day today. Our son.
Who the belts out tonight? Who the belts out tonight? Yo, hold on, here we go. Yo, listen up. Cyclones on 3, Legends on 6. 1, 2, 3, Cyclones! 4, 5, 6, Legends!
I'm pulling the belt out. Tonight. I might go live. 7
Thank you, officer. Nothing. You want
I was walking around naked and my wife's yelling at me. You hear this? Did we not just win the game? Did we not just do justice for the community? What are you talking about? We got that. These are the top players.